Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? We are booting up the game right now, and we are going to get down and crazy. Today, we're going to make sure we just kind of like polish a few things, get that character selection system working the way we want it. Yeah, we're just kind of going to go from there and see what else we can achieve. I do have to take a look at the multiplayer stuff, so we're going to start getting into multiplayer a little bit more. I got to start doing more testing, and for some reason right now, I'm having issues where it's like just black screening. When I try to do a test, I swear testing multiplayer is like more painful than actually like coding it. So I'm gonna have to see what's going on with that, and we're gonna experiment with that a little bit today. So we'll see where we go from there. Should be fun. Should be fun either way. All right. Once this thing finishes loading. I have a blender. That was for this. Might as well make something in Blender real quick. Level this a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Let's move that. Yeah, I'll just do this while we're waiting for that map to load here. File export. Square one. Nope. Get that exported. All right, let's get back to the engine. Here we go. We're finally done loading it. Sweet. Okay, let's get to our map that we want. All right, let's go with seeing what this looks like here. It's out. I'm gonna flush these shaders. I'm gonna make like hover lights or something. I need something that just kind of like gives us light. Let me see what I can come up with here. Just something to kind of like help light the scene a little bit. This isn't too bad. This. I already have that open. Let's see. I already have that open. Okay. Close this. Open this. One. No, that is not. God damn it. Oh, where is it? This one? Nope. That's the rock thing. There it is. Alright. Perfect. Yeah, we'll use that one. Alright, so let's grab this. Over here. Let's edit this one. Let me see how this one turns out. I just want something that kind of like lights the area up because it's like so dismal. I don't know. I'm looking for some ideas here real quick. Try that one. Okay, I'm just kind of like seeing what kind of stuff we can come up with here. Let's see. That post might actually work. Grab that one. Okay, save that. There. Down there. Down here. And fire that one off. There we go. Alright, so this is the first one that's coming out. We'll be getting this one in a second. Okay. Yeah, I just want to like kind of beautify this area a little bit more because it's kind of bad. Also, I should probably start putting some foliage around. I'm fixing a landscape, to be honest. It's a little rough. I mean, this does have to look more presentable, so might as well do it right. Probably do. Let me see if I can just do my auto PCG system for this. Let's see, auto map. Boom. Let that thing run for a second. There we go, it's a little bit better. A little bit more realistic. Alright, where is that thing? PCG. Gonna clear the link. Get rid of the auto gen. Okay. I can come in here and we can touch this up a little bit more too. Let's see. Sweeper. Sweeper, dev sweeper, spline sweeper, dev sweeper. I think it's just a normal sweeper. Need another collision setup. There we go. All right, now we can get out the paintbrush. Looks like our assets turned out okay. Grab those real quick. Let's see here. Blocks, pieces. There's our one lamp. Lamp one. Okay. We're gonna grab. We're gonna make a lamp out of this deco. We're gonna make another deco like we did last night. So let's make another folder called standing lamps. And that's gonna be a copy paste from this. Okay. Modeling. Center, bottom, except. All right. That'll change the pivot point there. And then we can be on with this asset. So let's just tweak this one out real quick. Roughness. There we go. Okay, so there is our lamppost. Looks good to me, looks sophisticated, I like it. Now let's actually change what this one is. Let's make it functional. More lights on there. There we go. All right. Let's see. LED board. We go up here. Right. Perfect. Let's do glows white. Okay, so there's one light bar, and then we'll do a second one. Okay, this round 180. That fits there a little bit better. There we go. That one's good. That one's good. All right, so those are our two glow panels. Now we need an actual light. So it's going to be the LED. You know what? I'll probably... Let me think about this for a minute. Minecraft. Yeah, it's easier if I just use the LED. Okay, we'll just do LED. Change. We're about there. Okay, and then I need to make sure that these lights can, let's see, so square, cube, slit. See, I need to change this. This is an extra feature I have to add, so that's a part of this master light here. Let's go back into that light and let's add another feature to it as we get this light more and more sophisticated. So basically we got sphere, plane, bolt. This is for the bulb type. I don't care about that. I care about the actual bulb setting, I think it is. Picture, accessory mesh. There we go. Yeah, so it's light frame. So I gotta now look for E light frame type. It should be under our enums. One is on my face, they're so bright. There we go. It's going to be under blueprints, enums, E frame, light frame type. Alright, I guess we're going to search for the damn thing. I don't know, it could be anywhere, so let's just do light frame. There it is. Type. Okay, I'm gonna add a feature. This might fuck some other shit up, but we'll see. And we're gonna make this none. Empty. Because sometimes we don't want the actual light frame, but we still want the math that works for the light frame. Okay, so if it's set to none, then make the static mesh none, basically. That's pretty easy shit. Hopefully that works. I don't know, but we'll find out here in a minute. So now we're going to go over to this, which is right here, and let's set this to none. Good, perfect. Now we can have like an invisible light. If I say none, I also want to have none for the bulb type. So we got to do something for bulb type as well. So let's find bulb type. There it is. Open that up. You're always supposed to have a null on your enums. It is what it is. I didn't have any, so now I have to add them basically. Okay, none, empty, done, awesome, sweet. And then if that is empty, that is going to be under bulb type, which is this right here. So we're going to set the plane visibility to invisible if it's set to empty or none, and it's also invisible if it's set to sphere, but that way we know for a fact that it's invisible. The LED bulb itself also needs to be set to invisible, so that's good. And we want the plane set to invisible, so that's good. And then we just want the spotlight, so that should work fine. Compile, save. Back to our bulb. Then this little purple thing will disappear when I switch this to empty. There you go. So now it's gone. Now we just have our light, which is what we want. Set that to white for now. Okay. Now we're going to copy this LED light and move it to the other side and flip it around 180 like that. There we go. All right, now we can actually see it in action. So there's our new street light. Little extreme. I'm probably gonna have to change the lights a little bit. They look a little bright. Let's see what it looks like at nighttime. All right, so they are shining lights out there, but they're not the right kind of lights. So we're gonna have to change those IES types. Let's go to these. Let's change this to 180 degrees. Compile, save. I don't know like which side we're on right now, so I need to kind of like figure this out. Okay, so it's kind of like a spotlight right now. Right. Oh, is this thing rotated? Okay, I think I see what's going on. Okay, now we need to make these lights a little bit better, so we're gonna change the I'm gonna have to change the actual spread size. Hmm. Wonder if I'm gonna have to do these lights different. Let's get rid of the. Damn it! See, I don't want to get rid of the LEDs because they have all that logic built into them. I guess we're gonna have to add something else here. Let's see: spotlight, inner cone, outer cone. 90 bulb. On bypass. Right here, this is really? I'm gonna crash there? Really? Oh my god, really? Fucking hell. Alright, well, nothing like crashing in the middle of doing nothing serious. There's something weird going on I've been noticing in my game, and I don't know what it is. Well, we'll just wait another 20 minutes for that to boot up. Oh well. Can't wait for the update to 5.6. Usually they get rid of some weird bugs on the next patch. See how much we lost. Not too much. Yeah, not much. Okay. All right. So right here is where we need to change our settings for our actual spotlight. So we need to change the inner cone angle and set outer cone angle. I need to be able to adjust these. So we're just going to say the defaults for these are inner, we'll say 10, outer, we'll say 40. Make them nice and simple for now. So inner is 10, outer is 40. So I have a note. Promote variable. Our inner cone angle. Outer cone angle. File. Okay, inner is set to default 10. Outer is set to default 40. And we're just going to rig up that like that. So now this will actually update and we can adjust these in real time. Okay, let's go back now to our lamp. I bet you we lost some stuff on that map. Let's see what we got rolled back a little bit. I think the map's being corrupt. I don't know what the fuck's going on. What is this? Water zone. I gotta fix the water still anyways. Alright, whatever. So we got our lamp here. Now we're gonna make sure that our lamp is not so obnoxious. At like being like a spotlight, we want it to be more like, see that cone? So we're gonna change this. Now it should be changeable. Go back to this color again. Slight warmth. And we should have those settings in here somewhere. You know what? I gotta pass them through. So we're gonna say set inner tone angle, set outer tone angle. Like this. And then this one is gonna be, what was it? 10? I think it was 10. Yeah. That's our 10. That's our default. And then we're going to promote this one to outer cone angle. This one's going to be set to 40 just for now. Okay. And both of these need to be instance editable. There we go. Okay. Let's change those now. So let's say, let's see what looks normal, I guess, is the best way to put it. Let's see, inner cone angle. Oh, that's in the event graph. Hold on. I gotta put this in the construct graph. Alrighty. There we go. Now we should be able to control these. Or not. Or not. Each LED, change the inner cone angle, change the outer cone angle. Whatever these are set to. Oh, what's up, freaks? I haven't seen you in ages. No, we're working on the home world, where people can kind of like have like their own little quiet space and like do whatever they want. So yeah, that's what we're up to right now. Just kind of like changing things. So, you know, it's just like the starter area, the safe area that you can, you know, in Diablo or whatever, where you have like your safe kind of town. That's all we're doing. I'm trying to fix this light that I made at this moment. Yeah, I've been streaming for a while, man. What's up? Haven't seen you in a while. You take a break? Is this gonna change on my default, or am I gonna have to? Why is that not changing my thing here? LED1. We go through each LED. We change the color. We know that works. I mean, I can change the color right now. kind of make it darker out. It's like too bright. Hold on. All right, so I click on the light, change the color. Let's go like red. Yeah, so that works fine. And both lights update to red, so that's good. And then I'm trying to get this to change the tonal radius, and it's not. So I must have fucked something up on the inside, because those are all correct. So this transfers to this transfers to all of the children. So let me see what I did wrong on the inside here. I probably forgot something. I did it real fast. Oh, yeah, about that. Okay, so we're gonna have to move these into their own department, because those are only triggering under special circumstances. So let's do that. Come on, there we go. Okay, close that, delete that, move this back, and we're gonna do this no matter what on the beginning. We don't care if it's a smart light or not. These are settings that need to take place regardless. So we're going to put this in the beginning. And then I'm also going to... That's not the one on a timer, is it? Hold on. Shit, it is. I don't want to run this on a timer because it's unnecessary to have all that logic pumping through the system every like 5 seconds. So instead, I'm just going to do it on begin play. And then I will also load this into Construct so we can see it in real time. There we go. Boink. All right, we should be good now. Now it should actually update in real time. So let's see. So if I start sliding this around, inner cone angle, outer cone angle. Really? Okay. A lot of family birthdays and vacation planning. Father's Day really even messed with PC this week? Jesus, man. Yeah, you were like, I just thought you left. Haven't heard from you in ages. I was like, yeah, he gone. He gone. That's cool, man. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You got shit going on, no problem. Hasn't been too much new. We've been doing Dune like crazy. It's been nuts with like all sorts of shit going on in Dune. And then you know, there's like, you said you did all the missions. There's no way you did all the missions. There's absolutely no way. There's like thousands of those like cards that you can do, which are like special circumstance missions. And we still were trying to figure out like how to do like the claiming in the PvP zone, and then we were dealing with hackers. So there's been like horrible cheating and hacking going on. So that's been an issue. Inner cone angle. Oh, these need to be instant setup. So yeah, we've been dealing with that, but tonight we're gonna make sure we can like, so the map's gonna wipe, so we're gonna try to push and see if we can get like a really good island that's got like a ton of really good shit on it. So it's gonna be a little bit of a madhouse late tonight, like 4 in the morning or some shit. We got some other people we're playing with too, so we've been hanging with them. So it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty chill. Redid the base, blah blah blah. Okay, ball type, intensity. Alright, so that's all good and dandy. So now what we should be able to do is just set these. So these things are being set remotely. I'm really wondering if inner cone angle, outer cone angle, why are those not working? We're setting them right here. whatever these ones are. Let me do these manually just to make sure I'm not going crazy. Okay. So they just don't work. They just straight up don't work. Okay. Okay, cool. So literally not going to work. Okay, well, we can do it the other way then. We can just say fuck it and just take the actual light itself and directly do what we want, since it wants to be an asshole. I'm basically taking one variable from here and I'm trying to apply it to the other variable, which then gets fed into a construct script, but it's not, for some reason, it's just not updating. So I don't know. I'll just try it this way then. Sometimes you just gotta get a little crazy with it. There we go. Now I got what I want. See, I'm gonna get what I want either way, game. So they just have to learn to accept it. All right. So what in the hell is that? There we go. Holy shit. Alright, so we want this. Yeah, it is. It was in a construct node. It's just I couldn't get it to work because it was not feeding variable to variable inside of two constructs at once. So I had to basically just like acknowledge it directly and be like, yo, find this actual asset and change it. Because we have an actor inside of another actor. You know what I mean? Like the light post is its own actor, and then there's another child actor inside it that does its own logic. And I'm like, well, you know, you get it. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Let's get this shit out of our face. So that's kind of what we're looking at for this lamp. It's not that bad. I actually kind of like it. Make it a little bit more whitish. Let me see if I can feed that IES through the system as well. Okay, so now I should be able to change the IES live. Edging blur, that looks pretty good. Alright, let's see what these look like now. That looks a little bit more homely, right? Homey-esque. I mean, it's just kind of like rough. I'm still debating what to do. I'm probably going to add like a big gazebo kind of overhang somewhere. Kind of like what I'm doing with this stuff. You know, make it look a little bit more chill and everything. But I want it to be like relaxing. You're on basically a private island, you know. All right, let's try to move some of these over here. Let's add another one of these. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Move these over here, and then the next thing I'm doing is I'm making it so I can change my characters. We've been working on that code too a little bit. It's a little bit more complicated, but we're getting there. All right. Let's see what we got. And crashed. I'm just kidding. Already crashed once. All right, it's starting to come to life a little bit. All those lights are not turned on. I don't know why. Are they set to smart light? Hold on. Let me see what we got here. Hold up. Hey. I'm going to group all these up as well so I can just smack them all when I want. Let's see. Lights, lamps. Let's put this in. Can I put it in a folder? Probably should put it in a folder instead. Lighting. Yeah, because they all have inherent smart lights built into them, so they'll automatically detect, you know, like in real life, the lamps turn on when it's dark out and bad weather, whatever. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on here. I never told them what to be. That's why. So we need to say set. We gotta do it in construct probably. Set smart light to whatever we say here. Default on. Yep, it just shut off as soon as it got daytime out. Let me try turning it off again. They actually should not have shut off. That looked like a begin play problem. Smart light. That should be a part of light function. Power on. I think I'm gonna need to turn all the power on by default. Let me just let's see here. If we're using none, yeah, that's fine. Using none, we don't care. Right here, power on, false. That is if our I guess I need to just turn them on. So if it's a smart light, do all this shit. If it's not, don't do that. Or on. I just need to turn them on, I think, is all I have to do. I should wait, the default is on though. Maybe light. Oh. Well, they're turned off, so that could be a problem. Smart lights on. And then turn this to on, so that's always on. And then see what that does. Okay, sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, let's see what we got here. I need to figure this out. Am I tripping the logic on this or something stupid? Okay, let's get rid of this. We'll just make, well, I do want to make sure that it's like set to smart light if we want it, so maybe we should leave that. Oh, you know what? This needs to happen first. That's probably why. On. Okay, so now those should light up. Oh, they just shut off. The fuck? Default light. Da 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 da. Construct the lamp. Smart lights. Okay. Is a smart light? True. Does it have a core? True. Set intensity, light intensity. Bulb type. None. We don't do anything. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, but turn off smart lights. They should always be on. Why are these not like doing what they're supposed to do? Smart light on. Standing lamps, light bars. All right, power on. Power on. Facility. Facility, that's fine. Smart light on. Smart light on. Use timer, yep. Okay, so if I turn off smart light, they're overridden anyways by this one. Wait, is this the... Okay, this is the standing lamp. Go back to here now, and I say... Smart light on. Okay, so we got smart lights turned on. I gotta see what the fuck is going on. They're on right now. It's normal. Sun comes up, they should shut off. Let's see. There's the sunlight. And they all shut off. Okay. Good. Drop the sunlight. They should all pop on again. There we go. Alright. They're working. Good. Alright, so we effectively made a lamp actor. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now let's set up the next section here to make it so we can actually swap our character. We're getting really close on this. It's kind of been like a multi-day phase thing. So, first things first, let's make sure that all these things show what they're supposed to show correctly. So this gets our commander data right here, and this is going to give us our commander name, whether or not we're selected, the profile picture, mastery name. It's going to have to be we got to find the master, so we got to go inside this thing, find main master, copy that function, we'll put this inside of here real quick, compile, and that will automatically tell us what our main mastery is. Just plug this in here like that. Like that. Be a selection node based on this. If it's false, then we just say no mastery. If it's true, then we want to know what the mastery name is. We'll just say that. Okay, and then for this one, we got to know what kind of icon it is, which is this one right here. This also needs to have a select node. If mastery is false, we want to set this icon to a generic commander, which is this one. If it's true, we want to set it to that. Level. Get rid of this. Okay. See if that all populates correctly now. So my character is basically, she's a gunner right now, so it should say gunner with the gunner icon. Okay, so it shows my name. It's not showing the level. It's not showing this correctly. It is showing the right icon. So we got the icon, the name. We're getting line 2 and 3 are not correct. So let's fix that. Line 2 and 3. That's going to be mastery type. Right here. That's if we get a mastery. This is if we get nothing. And that's pretty self-explanatory, that part. So, what's going on with this then? True. Oh, whoops, this is backwards. Why is that saying true, though? Let's see what we got going on over here. Zero masteries. Why does it think there's zero masteries? Is that because that's coming from the... Yeah, see, that's coming from the player selected. Commander. I don't know why this is showing as nothing. Let's make sure it's getting correct data coming in from the other one then, I guess. I don't know. It's from this one right here. Oh, I see. They're just trying to grab mastery levels out of the data table, but that's never going to be accurate. This is going to be tricky. I'll be a little on the tricky side. See, I basically need to get mastery levels to feed through the PDA instead, not the commander's levels, because those are just starter levels. So, we're gonna have to do something here. So that's a mastery, E mastery type with a number on it. That's a map. There we go. All right, so if I compile and save that, then what we can do is we can come in here. Don't need that anymore. Instead, we'll just get this mastery. Put that into there. Okay. And then we're going to find the main mastery out of all of those masteries. So now what I have to do is I have to save on boot up. So that's going to be the player state. So we get the players saved commanders. We compile all the equipped shit. Boot up all defaults. Okay. I need to get this. Where am I saving that? This is like a multi-dimensional problem. It's really annoying, actually. This is not fun. We need to make sure that we have a save file, we have a player state file, we have a commander that relates to that save file, we have a UI that's trying to get information from a certain system, and then we need to be able to read all that information from different characters and display it correctly on a UI. So there's like a lot of moving parts to this. This is not that easy. Like, I understand how to do it. We'll get it done. It's no problem, but it's just going to take a little bit of careful navigation here is all. Okay, there's my save game file. So let's see what this is saying. Okay, so I got saved commanders, and then within each one of those commanders, okay, let me just like put some notes here. So I have commanders, then inside that I have a commander. And inside that, I have a PDA file. This is what's really going on. And then inside that PDA file, this is why my brain's like all over the place right now, because there's all these layers we're trying to think about. Inside that PDA file, I have the mastery levels. And so I need to make sure that this is loaded correctly and processed correctly. Basically, my save file just has notes everywhere, just so I remember what everything is. Okay, so commanders has commander inside the commanders, which is fine. We already have that information in the commander PDA. But where is that PDA getting information from? I need to figure out where I was pulling that info from. It's got to be in the state. Great. Damage. Okay, so those are all like our normal defaults. Where is my level? Right here. I'm getting commander level. Skills. Yeah, it gets crazy fast. Okay, so these are our skills that get booted up. Which is fine, but that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for... Man, where am I getting that information from? Player states, commander selected, mastery levels. How is that working? Gunner 20. Okay, so it just knows that I'm Gunner 20. Where did that information come from? Gotta be in the player state. So Gunner 20. Probably when I get saved, so that would be under the server. This goes to our library. It's going to be under save. Here we go. Master controller, player state, local, boot up player state. Yeah, this is our normal player state boot up, that's fine. Player inventory save, here we go. I don't know where the hell it is. There's too many different areas. I gotta try to figure out where the hell I was saving it so I can adjust the damn thing. I boot this bastard up. Enter selected. Mastery levels. See, it already knows that I'm Gunner 20. So it's pulling that information. New followers, welcome. It's pulling that information from the load, but I don't know where that's coming from. What's up, peeps? What's going on? What's going on? What is shaking and a bacon? How long have I been doing game dev? I've been doing game dev for probably like 3 to 4 years, somewhere in there. Yeah. Just basically Unreal Engine, but I'm kind of like a generalist, if you will. Novotalks. What's up, man? Yeah, if you have a question, fire away, man. Fire away, dude. Pick up, they loadout items. They populate all discoveries. Check ship inventory. Navacor. Navatox. What I'm working on right now is I'm trying to figure out, like, we've got our system getting loaded for like our data when we see like what our character is, but I'm trying to figure out why it's not getting the mastery data. So I moved the mastery data to the PDA, but I don't know where it's being saved. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. It's got to be when I click on a button. So maybe that's under UI, masteries, mastery, PPC mastery type. It's probably a button, I'm guessing. No, because we got to create a button. Oh my god, this is nuts. It's so deep right now. I'm like 19 levels deep in like trying to figure out where this thing is going through. Yeah, I'm trying to do some damage. We've got, okay, so this is the actual mastery. Where is my damn, here we go, populate. Sorry, my brain's all over the place. DT mastery. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for, this little bastard right here. Okay, so it is this button. And then I click on this button. No, this is just going to show me. Yeah, man. This is giving me default information. I don't care about this. Hold on. I'm trying to think about where the hell this thing is. I don't know where the buttons are. I can't find the damn things. It's in here somewhere. Like, what the hell? It's not there. This is when we populate our actual screen. So let me go back to here. Mastery. It should be this one. Populate mastery pages. Update category button styles. No, those are just the main profiles. Category button styles. There's a lot that goes into UI, guys. It's like super it's super crazy. All right, I'm just gonna have to figure that out. You're a software dev, okay? Never did game dev. I'm really interested in the performance optimization and software dev in general, okay? And I think the game dev industry is suffering from this quite a lot. Yeah, unoptimized games, low FPS, of weak devices, etc. Yeah. How good is the idea to study game performance optimization to focus strictly on performance? Would such a role be interesting for game studios? Yeah, they're always trying to do optimization. Optimization is a constant struggle. It's not always the game studio's faults, though. You have to realize that there's a lot that goes into game development. I would argue it's probably worse than software because you're dealing with different platforms. So, like, for example, apps, PlayStation, Xbox, different controllers, different systems, different specs. Like, oh, well, we can run it great on a 3060 graphics card for an NVIDIA, but it doesn't work good on an Xbox. You know what I mean? Or like, there's all these different factors you have to think about, whereas software is just usually mainly on whatever platform you're going for, unless you're going for like multiple platforms or something. But even then, it's like what, Apple PC, unless you're doing apps, I guess. But in general, it's really hard. And also, you got to remember, everything is graphical. So you're dealing with UIs, you're dealing with a lot of motion, animation, you know, all sorts of shit. So yeah, it's very complicated. It's very complicated. But yeah, optimization's huge. Yeah, studios love that stuff. If you want to get into that, I think that that's a safe transition that you could do, going from software into game development. There's a lot that's going on. To the average Joe, you're probably thinking, oh, cleaner code, but it's not about the code. The code obviously helps, but it's more about other assets, other factors. An example of this is you may look at a problem and say, oh, the code is perfect, it'll run fine now, but that's not going to work, because what are the assets like? How optimized are the actual assets, such as the character, the texture of the character, the lighting, you know, are we using high-res shadows? Like, there's so many different fields in the game industry. It's never just one thing, and it's rarely the code, if I'm being completely honest. Most optimization is graphical. So you're talking about, you know, things that have nothing to do with the code. So for example, I could make the best code in the world for this game, and it's going to tank because this tree is killing my performance. You know what I mean? And that's an art thing that has nothing to do with code. So you can make things better in code, but I just want to make sure you know that in terms of optimization, you'll probably have to start getting into different fields a little bit. For example, like lighting, or, you know, geometry, procedural generation, you know, and like learning some of those other systems, because you kind of have to be a generalist if you want to be someone who's a good doctor at making sure performance is good, because you have to understand all those different things that could try to tank your performance. The Unreal Engine in specifics gives you a lot of options, so there's a lot of good tools that you can use to try to audit and see where your problems are. So for example, if I let this load here, it's always like really slow when I start, but you can do like tilde, and you can say stat GPU, and now we can start seeing all this data here. So you would be like a numbers cruncher probably, and you could try to like help pin down where the problems are. But in order to do that, you're going to have to understand like what those other systems are, basically. Yeah. New followers, thank you. What would be the learning path for such a career? I was thinking starting with C++, never used it before, then engines like Unreal, plus Godot, maybe C#, Unity, some rendering technologies, plus graphics, low memory, CPU optimizations. It depends. If you want to guarantee that you'll be able to get into the career fairly easy, I would say you probably should pick engines that are commonly used. So, I mean, I'm obviously very biased because I'm all about Epic Games Unreal Engine. That's all I use. But you could try Unity. Whether or not you want to do C++ code is up to you. Optimization, like I said, it's not always just code, it's like everything. So you're probably going to have to dive deep into Unreal Engine and just get slapped around for like 2 years, and then you'll finally start to kind of come out of it and realize like what you can do to make things cleaner. Unless you want to be specialized. If you want to be specialized, then you would have to, like, you know, go to a studio. They would train you in certain areas, maybe, and, you know, maybe your whole job is to just focus on, like, you know, certain divisions or certain sectors. Because there's optimization in animation, there's optimization in literally everything. So Unreal Engine is like huge. Unreal Engine, if you were to look at like the actual market cap, like the size of Unreal Engine, it's used in TV, movies, it's used for like car sales, like they have them on like the panels to touch screens and stuff, apps, websites, and of course gaming. So I would say Unreal Engine hands down is the king. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to argue that. So yeah, if you want the biggest and the baddest with the most features and the most shit going on, I would choose Unreal Engine. Unity's had a lot of problems with people, like their community. They've been a little penny pinchy lately. They've done some weird things that have been arguably stupid. So their leadership is kind of all over the place. Whereas Epic's is pretty straightforward. Epic's just dominating the entire industry. So I personally would choose, trying to get into the Epic Games Unreal Engine way before I would choose Unity. Unity is a lot more codey too. You don't get a lot of starter content like you do with Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine kind of gives you a lot of fun tools to use that help elevate they accelerate your progress. Whereas Unity is kind of like, here's a store, you can buy stuff. So, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Like, if you know what you're doing, you can do anything. But I think that Unreal Engine's a hell of a lot faster and more visual and latest tech. So I gotta figure out where the hell this UI is. But yeah, in terms of learning code, you don't need to learn C++. I mean, if you know C++ already, I mean, if you're familiar with it, sweet, that can help, sure. Then you could maybe like help optimize code and convert things like, this is called visual scripting, also known as blueprints. So you could like start converting blueprints into C++ code. That's definitely needed. A lot of studios do that a lot. And part of the reason for that is like, if you make things in nodes like this, they're good. These are all shorthand C++. Like everything you see here is backed by C++. It just kind of goes through like a virtual machine where it's like a little extended, so you get a little bit of MS delay in certain areas if you're not careful. But it's still not terrible. But a lot of companies, like especially like MMOs, will try to convert a lot of their stuff into like pure C++ so they can get every little millisecond possible. So, all right, so what is going on here? So I need to figure out, when I open this baby up, mastery, populate master pages, update category buttons. See, right now I'm having this issue where it's like, I don't know where this data is getting compiled from. What are these? Under mastery. Let's see, set up skills. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Most stuff's done on Windows. Yeah. Here we go. Skill button. God, I was looking all over this damn thing. Yeah, Windows pretty much. Yeah. Servers. If you're talking servers, though, servers like to run on Linux. So it depends on what you're getting into, because there's also server administration, management, and optimization, which is totally different. So if you're talking like networking optimization and server optimization, that's done 50-50. There's a lot of Linux servers that, host stuff. But that's not my specialty at all, so that's as far as I go there. Okay, so skill button. I'm just a generalist, personally. I'm just a pretty good generalist. So, I know a little bit about everything, but I'm not like a super master at anything. Okay, on clicked. Here we go. Add skill. I've been trying to figure out where this is. VPL check add skill to save. Finally, we got there. Just looking all over for this damn function. Here we go. So we're checking to see if we have this inside of here. So instead of this, we're gonna have to find it's under skills. Okay, contain skills. It does max level. Oh god, I'm gonna have to change all this shit. I don't like how this looks. UI graphics, rendering, game loop, memory issues in UI. Yeah, Yeah, UI is it's a whole career on its own. Yeah, I mean, I love UI. I do a lot of work inside of different UIs and stuff for the game that I'm working on. Um, so yeah, it's definitely possible. You just gotta start somewhere, Like I would recommend, like, if you really like, if you really want to get into it, you just gotta start somewhere. So I would start getting the engine, start figuring out how it works. You gotta understand, how the UI works in general in Unreal Engine, and then just slowly start getting there. Start figuring it out, seeing who you can get in with, what studios are looking for what, stuff like that. Networking's important. Okay, so play confirmed alert, add actual skill. Okay, so what we're doing is we're adding skills to this. That's what tells us what our skills are. Close some of these out. I'm trying to hunt down something right now in my game where I need to change. I need to like update and convert like a major system, so it's kind of like there's a lot going on. It's kind of boring, but trying to figure something out here. All right, so we're using player skills, and those player skills, see, I want it to come from here. Here it is. Bam. Okay, so I was looking for this. God damn. So we take our level requirement and our mastery skill local, I see, and then we look for that skill inside of here. Okay, so this part needs to be updated. Finally found it. Just in case I forget. I've like literally hunted down like certain sections, and I'm like, what was I gonna do? I gotta like put notes everywhere just in case. All right, so actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull from the masteries here. I gotta cast this damn thing. Then we're gonna get mastery. But yeah, optimization's a tough one, man. There's more than one way to optimize a game, trust me. There's a lot of different things that go on. And I will be honest with you that, like, most people, like, you can probably help them as, maybe you could do, like, contract work or something like that, because there's a lot of people who don't know what the F they're doing. And they kind of need, like, someone to kind of go in there and start brushing up code and making things just, like, basic, simple, fix some basics and shit. But I've thought about doing some of that, but then it's like they want you to do everything, and how much are they paying you? Blah blah blah. So contract work is not all it's cracked up to be either. Okay, and then we're gonna get masteries again. We're gonna add that. Okay, so basically this is the new line of code that we're adding. We're saying get our current player state, get our currently selected commander. And out of the PDA file, we then want to get that mastery. And then, let's do this. We want to find that mastery type, add +1 to it as we level, and make that our system. Okay, we're going to have to wipe our data. We're going to have to do a new save for this to work. But I think this will work now. Let's make this red so I don't forget about it for now. This is in flux. And then we can go back to the skill button. That should be fine. And then this will pull out our masteries here to find our main mastery. Now, I just gotta make sure everything else works. Skill button with it. Skill button. Yeah, right here. So on begin play, just gotta change this real quick. Cast the PDA commander data file. Get mastery levels. Use that file instead. There we go. We're slowly, what we're doing right now, for those who don't know what the hell's going on, imagine you have like two major systems running, and we're slowly taking pieces of this system and moving it over to this other system. So we're going from A to B. We're kind of upgrading to a better system so that we're not pulling data out of this wrapper. We're just pulling it out of this internal file here instead. It's cleaner, it's better, it's snappier. So I'm trying to slowly like migrate over to a different route. We're doing construction on a highway right now. We're slowly veering people on a different lane while we fix the other lane is what we're doing. Okay. So let's see how badly we broke the game there. We're going to go to the main menu because I don't dare launch it in here right now. It'll probably crash and freak out. Let's go back to the main map. Launch. Okay, I'm going to wipe my data. There we go. Let's make a new character and shit. Got my graphics turned down so she looks all poly. Thanks. There we go. Okay, now we play. Alright, let's turn our graphics. Well, we'll leave our graphics down for now, whatever. Okay, let's go to a map real quick. Got my graphics on like super low settings just so we can snap through this. A few thousand shaders to get through. Come on. Yes, it's for level 12. There we go. Okay, so not spending my SP now, so I have to fix that. So when I click on the button, let's try and see what's going on over here. Unclick. Okay, homeworld add skill. Let's see what this is. Okay, so we add struct within a struct. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that if you want. Yeah, that's perfectly normal. Yeah, just think of structures as folders. So like these structures right here, these are just folders. And then inside these folders, you have all this data, right? Like I want a name, I want a description, I want a Boolean, I want an animation blueprint. And then like you can put whatever you want in here. And then this is, I think, another structure right here. So yeah, you can do like all sorts of stuff. You can use maps, which is just like two wound together. That's one type of a variable. You can use like this right here. This is a PDA. So this is a data asset parent basically. And what it does is it lets me do all of this. I can add all of these extra variables inside this one file system. That's actually what we're moving to right now, is we're moving to this one. You can put defaults in here, you can put like equipment in here, you can do whatever the hell you want. So I'm trying to convert everything over to these because these change a lot. Structures are usually designed for things that don't change much. You can still update them, it's not like a big deal, but usually they don't change too often. So like hard defaults, but the defaults that I have in there are going to change. That's why I'm trying to move them over to a data asset. What's really weird here though is for some reason we're not deducting, and I got to figure out where we're slipping here. Something in this code is wrong. When I come in here, we say skills. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Masteries, find. We should be fine there because we're overriding that. I don't know what the hell's going on. We're gonna have to just watch it play out, I guess. I don't know why the SP would not go down. Set to 20. There it is. Okay. Player state. Player skills. Current BPC level is what? 12. Okay, so that's correct. Level requirement. Yep. Approve valid purchase. Get the skill name. Let's skip to here. Okay, so we got that done. That'll break that chain, which will go down to here. Should be true. Yep. Now, why is that true? Check current level requirements. Current level is 12. Level requirement is what? This should be false. Well, we're casting to our PDA now. That's successful. Got 11 points in Gunner. These player skills contain this. False, of course not, because we haven't learned it yet. Add it to our skills category. Update ability list. Yeah, I don't necessarily like the way that I have this whole system set up. Like it works, but I want to change it, I think. Player inventory save. Okay, what are we saving here? UPC commander selected. Okay, so right here, we need to do an extension regardless. We need to say save game, um, get saved commanders, loop, break, break, what's this one? Break. We will make sure that these names are equal to each other, so it's the exact same name. If they are, so save game commanders, we set the selector, and then we want to set the save game to be, check all the save game commanders, and find the one that this is. If we do find it, then we just want to get that. From that array. And then we want to set it. Let's say set array element. Whatever this is, just override it. Let's do that. There we go. And then if it's not, we don't have to worry about it. I guess that'll work. So this makes sure that this commander gets overridden when it gets, this is like a list of commanders, and this is a single commander. So it's saying take our single commander, whatever we just adjusted with it, and we're going to override the one that matches that in this collection. So that way they're both in sync with each other. Because this, you can have more than one character, so we're trying to like make sure that we have them all synced as you make like new progress with one. Hold on, it's gonna be this. There we go. Alright, well, there's gonna be a lot of trial and error trying to figure all this shit out. So I'm gonna put a marker on this one. Okay. Now this other problem that I was having, this is like the really meaty stuff that I'm doing right now. I usually do this stuff off stream because it's like super like complicated and weird, and people are like, "What the fuck's going on?" So when I add a skill, it's gonna run through the system, depending on which server we're on, and it will still just do the same thing. Good motivation. Yeah, pretty much. How did your thing turn out over there, by the way? Were you working on that? I remember you were like getting the things to teleport with your ships. How'd those turn out? You stuck on anything, or is it all going nice and fluid now? See, I don't like having those skills on there either. Ugh. but I kind of need those skills to be a part of a data table. I don't want to fuck with those. I'll just leave those for now. There is so much shit that goes into this stuff. People have no clue. It's just ridiculous. All right, so we add this to our skills section. Whatever the local skill is, that's now part of the selection. And then we go through the player state. We make sure we save it. When we save it, we then do this right here, which does that. All right, so let's watch this, and I want to see what this becomes. Commander level too low. Okay. So level 12, it's saying I have SP points 12. So it did cap out there, so that's good. So at least we have a backup security system in case someone's trying to hack that side, so that's good. The server's rejecting it. It's like, no, you're not high enough level. Even though you think you have points, you really don't. So we need to figure out why that's not updating correctly. So that's SP. It might just be a visual glitch, honestly. Let's look at that possibility. It's either the server, it's either the logic, wherever that is, or it's a UI, and it might be just the UI. So that's going to be under our mastery UI, which is right here. And current mastery, this is old. I'm not even using this anymore. I don't know what that is. We're just going to put that aside for now. Event, probably under update. No. Here it is, right here. Okay, found it. Okay. Yeah, I hate dealing with this shit, but you gotta get good at it. All back to models finally, but my brain is still wiring code. Yeah. Your brain will switch modes. Right now, my brain is mush. I have had the worst brain fog ever, like the past week. Like, it's to the point where I'm like actually kind of like concerned. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like so tired and out of it lately. I don't know if I'm just like exhausted or if I'm just like, I don't know. I've just been dead. Get masteries. Okay. Find mastery. It's like you lose, I don't know, like it's almost like you lose motivation to do stuff, and then at the same token you're just too tired to do it anyways, and then you're just like out of it. I don't know. I've just felt like a zombie for the last like week and a half. I really don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, so find main mastery. So now that comes from here. Let's make sure that works correctly. It should. It's hard to be on top of your game with this stuff and like always be full throttle, ready to rock every day. You know what I mean? Like, it is tiring shit, bro. Okay, so that it is registering correctly, so we should be fine on that end now. Current level 12. Okay, so let's go back to main menu. Wipe our data, start fresh. Play. Cheat. All right, here we go. So we are adding that XP that just got saved. so it's updating that. That's good. SP20. It's got to be a visual glitch then. It looks like the math is actually working correctly, so it's got to be a visual glitch. Well, shit. That's fine, XGPS. Commander data, PDA commander data max level. Oh, if this level is greater than this level. Yeah, you might only get like 2 things done in a day. Yeah, that's like a good day. Getting 2 things done, that's a good day. That is a good day, my man. If you're lucky. Where is this son of a bitch? Right here. Points available. What is this? Setup points available. Here it is. Okay, yeah, see, this is another one that we have to fix because it's trying to pull from the wrong source. So rather than pull from this, we need to say get the PDA file instead. Not that one. Whoops. We're going to do cast to PDA commander data. Get masteries. We're going to use those keys, and that's going to go into here. And then we don't need this one anymore. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Wipe the data. Start fresh. Whenever you're dealing with, like, you know, save files and weird shenanigans with inventory or leveling, you want to make sure you have a fast wipe system, because if you don't, the data can get corrupted and you can, like, you'll be all over the place, basically. Okay, so we're level 9. Level 9 right here. This, it is not telling me how much SP I have left, though. So, I gotta figure out what the fuck happened. What's going on here? Yay. Masters. Is the level standard equals 0? 9. Why is that not showing me my points? What in the fucking hell is going on? Points available. Alright, I launched this, what, twice? This whole code? I don't know what you mean, Forrest. So you were having an issue still? What is going on here? -8. What the fuck? Total points spent 17. I am not level 17 in Gunner. Okay, so something's happening twice, because 9 and 9 is 18, which is close to 17, so something happened twice is what happened there. So that was probably the skill button. When I clicked on this, no, it was when I got XP, so that would be under our BP library. Check add. Dude, I'm gonna have to just move the whole system over to this PDA, I think. Okay. Right. Yeah. Oh, you're using like a template thing? Those are tough, man. Well, what's the main issue you're having? So you have two versions, one for the game, one for hacking? Okay. Oh, I see. So like one that you can like test with? It was in a game mode? Okay, yeah, because you always want everything inside your game mode. Because if you're doing, are you doing multiplayer or single player? Hmm. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. There's something weird going on with my XP. Oh, I need to figure out where it is. Let's try BPL add XP. Okay. Max level, current level. Do I have a current level set up for my PDA yet? No. I think I'm just gonna put it in here from now on, man. Oh my god. Ooh. See base stats. Should be fine there. The ships would hit the wall, open map, and not follow. Oh, like you talking about like the AI? The ships would like hit the walls and shit. Well, how big is your room? How big is your test room? Because I thought you had like a huge galaxy. Are they trying to like simulate physics and stuff? You should just like maybe have them wait a minute before they start simulating physics. I'm really confused. I don't know exactly what your problem is, but I'm trying to understand it. Okay, let me see here for a minute. If we start moving all this over to here, then what we can do is we can say PDA Commander Library. The current level. Max level needed. This is a tricky little area right here, by the way. This is very tricky. I gotta be careful. PDA data max level. So if the current level is greater than the max level, then set this to this, and then max XP needed. That's a structure, right? I better not fuck with that. Let's just break one thing at a time tonight, okay? Let's see. Incoming XP. You think that it's a project setting game mode problem? The space maps. Okay. Not the space maps. Sorry, there's some typos in there. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying there. So the ships should be master mostly. It's good. But my template is for land. Okay, the ships would not spawn Okay, so yeah, in your game mode, you need to make sure that everything is sequentially ordered. You know, do this first, do that first, set gravity, whatever, set up the shops, set up whatever you got going on, and then spawn those ships in the air where they're supposed to be. So like make sure the Z is set correctly and the locations are set correctly. If you're trying to pick a random location, you can use a nav mesh. So just pick a random navigatable area and then just shoot it up into the air. Set the Z to like plus 20,000. Space maps have their own game mode. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because it's different, right? I have 2 game modes, but I mean, a game mode is essentially, you know, what it sounds like. So as long as it's like supporting something that needs to be customized, then it sounds like it's warranted. State selected. Current level. Da 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 da. Oh my god. Why am I like... Why did this say -12? I'm so fucking confused right now. This thing thinks that our total points spent is -12. So it's taking the level minus the total points spent. So total points spent are... Find each mastery in here. Okay, well, how many masteries are there? Start over. Right. Spawns the player, right. Well, set up your map first, you know, like what goes where, blah blah blah. Then you start up the player, then you start up like AI and stuff or whatever. Okay, so it's saying that I've got... Why am I level 17 gunner straight out of the fucking oven? What is going on here? Is that like a default? EA data. I am so confused right now. It's gotta be coming from the data table. What the fuck? Why is this set to default 17? That's why. Hello? No, it has none. That should be none. How did that happen? Think of these little pink things as like save files, and they change based on what the player does in the game. But for some stupid ass reason, one of them had like a pre-save built in. So it kept overriding the same thing over and over and over. I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, why the hell is this thing like adding its own mastery every time? I do not understand what that was all about. So Good God. All right, well, we solved that problem. Let's try it again. All right, so we're going to go like this. Create. Confirm. Play. Two weeks to figure it out, but you got the player to spawn. No ships. That sounds insane. Unit test is not a common thing in game dev world. Unit tests? What do you mean by unit tests? I don't know what you mean by unit. What's the unit that we're representing? Are you saying like scale? Like units scale measurements? Like that kind of units? Or are you talking about stat unit? Because you can do unit optimization tests with the command tilde, and then you just do stat unit, if you mean that. I don't know. I'm not like super savvy with a lot of that stuff. Let me just make sure. Okay, good. This finally says 0. My God. Okay. Play. And what does this say? 0. Good. Okay. Finally. Let's give ourselves some XP. $10. Thank you. Oh, man, I think we finally got through that storm. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Man, that was a weird fucking error, guys. I don't know what the fuck that was all about. Now it's updating in real time. Sweet. Now I should get denied. Yeah, sweet. Alright, cool. So we fixed that. Wasn't even the original intent, but okay. Now, when I leave, that should all be saved. So when I come back, that should still load fine. I don't see why it wouldn't, but maybe there's something missing in our state, which we have to check. Yeah, we're still level 10. We're good. Yeah, sweet. Alright, cool. So that's all updated and fixed. Oh, man, that took forever. Okay, let's say you're implementing a calculator. You have divide number 1 to function, so you convert it with unit test. 3 into assert. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. So it like detects if there's like an issue and it will automatically update. That's kind of interesting. Or to like spit out an error. Well, there's print strings. We use print strings in Unreal Engine to determine kind of what you're saying. So for example, if there's a line of code, like let's say I'm supposed to walk up here and like press F on this thing. What's up, Cluster? And it opens up this menu, right? So this is what's called a breakpoint. It just froze the entire game. It just paused the whole game and it told me where that code is that's trying to access information. And then I can start reading this data. So like some of this data I can start reading if I go, like right here it says unknown, but it's going to update in a second. See, now I have all this data and I can see like, okay, it called up the right information. It shows me all the variables. I can make sure that everything's correct. So that's a breakpoint, but then a print string is what we use a lot. And that basically does the same thing, except it doesn't freeze the game. It just prints it on your screen and tells you what the result is, if there's an error or not. So like, for example, like right here, I'm casting to my PDA. If I were to fail, I could make a thing that would say, hey, error inside the event graph underneath the commander select profile, you know, line 32 failed or whatever. So we could do stuff like that. For something to your branch, all unit tests in project get executed automatically. Yeah. That's a build. So if you do a build, the engine will do that for you automatically. It'll let you know if something's like not correct, like seriously broken. You can still have a broken ass game and push it to Steam, but it will tell you when you try to build your game, it'll compile like major errors for you already. And that too. Yeah, you usually don't do it until you're like halfway through the mud. What he was saying, because if I don't have, like, I know that I'm breaking stuff right now. Okay, so this is actually working now. Yay! So it tells us that we have a character. It shows me the correct profile, the correct name, the correct mastery that we're a part of. It tells me the correct level. Icon is not correct, but I probably plugged that in wrong, so I gotta fix that. So we have that set up. Now if I make another character, which I don't have the option to do yet, but if I make another character, it'll add it to this list, and then we can start scrolling through this list. We can select them. If I click on this, we got to make this actually populate. So we're still trying to get things to work here, but I got lost trying to fix some other weird error that I found, so that took forever. Yeah. There was mostly, yeah, compilation errors. Yeah, for the build. Like if I try to do a build right now, see, this is my output log. This tells me everything that's going on that's wrong right now. What is this error right here, by the way? I don't even know what the hell this is. It's saying that the BP float number, because it would cause an owner loop. Failed to set BP float number. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, this is like your default error code stuff. And it always looks like absolute, like a total disaster, and it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, as long as you generally understand what you're doing, you can fix most of those errors. But, yes. There you go. Yeah, clusters got you covered. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I might be misunderstanding what you're trying to say, but yeah, there's like a million, like most of Unreal Engine, I guess this is the easiest way to put it. Most of Unreal Engine is debugged live, okay? It's not really debugged like at the end. Like that's different. Like you would debug it at the end, but that's different. So like most of it's like in the moment live while you're doing stuff, and then you're testing it and building it live, and you see the results almost instantly. And then we use, you know, like the print strings and the break codes so that we can like kind of like see what's going on. And then within that, there's also features you could do, like you mentioned, optimization. So like there's certain features like I showed earlier, like the stat GPU or stat unit, where you can actually monitor live and see like where the bottlenecks are. And you can also watch the code live too, which is interesting. Like this code, you can actually watch this live. So you can actually see like which route they're taking. Are your branches working correctly? Is it ticking too often? You know, there's all sorts of shit you can do. It's literally like massive as hell. Using its Unity built in IDE, devs usually don't use stuff like Visual Studio. Visual Studio is what people use for this. Yeah, yeah. Visual Studio is the #1 go-to IDE for Unreal Engine. Yeah. I have not heard of anybody else using anything else. So, well, there you go. He's using Rider. That's the first time I've heard about that. But I use IDE. I know Graham uses IDE. Or sorry, Visual Studio. I know Ace uses Visual Studio to make her game. Pretty much anybody that I know in my circle has used Visual Studio. So, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. You can use whatever you want. No, this is not Visual Studio. No, that's only if you want to go into C++ code, or if you have to do like ultimate recompiles or rebuilds. Or if you're dealing with like plugins, a lot of the time you'll be living in there, or if you're dealing with like weird engine kind of code and stuff like that. You can build your entire game in there, but talking about me personally, I do not go in there unless I do it for those kind of things. Like for example, Graham, the guy I just mentioned, he does all of his stuff inside Visual Studio. He rarely even works in the engine. He's mainly in C++ working inside the IDE. Me, on the other hand, totally opposite. I work inside the engine all the time. I see everything in real time here, and that it is what it is. But the good news is if you are in an IDE, you can catch an error before it crashes your engine a lot of the time, so that's helpful. Whereas I can't. But, you know, there's pluses and minuses to everything. So I am literally inside Unreal Engine right this minute. That's it. I'm not using any IDE at all. This is just literally the engine. 5.6. Yeah. You just get your Epic Games launcher, you install Unreal Engine, that's it. I'm not using any IDE right now. Yeah. I'm in the actual engine itself. Yep. And then if I wanted to, I could launch this through the IDE, right? So like you can go into Microsoft Visual Studio and you can launch this game inside there, and then you can see like the background C++ code as it's going on. That's what that other guy does that I was telling you about. So he does it inside there, and you can still access stuff inside here. So you can like code however you want, whatever works best for you. Yeah, and so, you know, however you want to do it, you can do it live. Also, there's a way to like connect them together so that this like shows you what that's doing and that shows you what this is doing, so you can go back and forth. Yeah, I crashed twice already today. Actually, I think I crashed 3 times. So like you can do whatever you want, you know, whatever works for you. You know, I'm personally not a Cody kind of guy. I can get things to obviously work. I know what I'm doing with visual scripting and blueprints and all that stuff, but like when it comes to C++ code, like no thanks. So I usually stay away from that. Yeah, 3 crashes. Well, you know, the first crash that we had was random. It didn't make any sense at all. I crashed while I was trying to change a light bulb randomly. Like, okay, that's random. But we did make these new sexy lights. So if we see these street lights here. So now these are all smart lights. So if we go nighttime here, they all turn on. There you go. Now we have street lights everywhere. And we can change the color of them and do whatever we want. So I made those earlier. So those look pretty cool. Although they're not showing actual lights right now. I just noticed that. Or if they are, they're really dark. I think they're really dark. Yeah, they're showing lights. They're just really dark. I gotta turn up the brightness. So. Guess I'll fix that. And then I've been trying to fix the, you know, this character swap crap. I know, right? Okay, so we're gonna go lighting. Let's do this. And oh, that's why we're not cutting that through the system, are we? All right, so that's another thing I have to do. Yay! Okay, unconstruct. Set light intensity. Whatever this is. Yeah, so I'm doing stuff in Construct right now, which means it's like live script. So it literally just pops out in the moment right now, in real time, right there. We can watch it take place like as I change these numbers around. So that's a different thing you can do for some stuff, but only certain assets you should do it for. You shouldn't do it for everything. Okay, do that. So now the default's set to 8K. Let's just make sure that we fix those lights so they're actually bright. A little bit of lag off the top as it loads. I was talking with someone, I forget, they were on Twitch, and they're like, how come your game's so laggy? It's like, oh my god. Like, we're not looking at loading screens. That's why. Like, when you play a normal game, it's packaged, it's rendered, it's already all set and done. This is not rendered, this is like raw, right? And not only that, but I don't really have proper loading screens, so it's just like dumping you in before everything's ready. So there's always going to be like lag and shit. Yeah, shit game. Yeah, exactly. You know. Yeah. Alright, so now these should actually show something when they turn on here. There they go. That's a little bit brighter. Yeah, that's better. Don't want them to be too bright, but not too bad. I don't know. I tried to do something to just add some more light around here. Shit game, lights too dim. Yep. That's usually what players are like, right? They want, if you can't have 800 frames per second, they don't even want to try it. Okay. Have fun with 2 games then. Alright, so that's fixed. A lot of oddities that we've been fixing today. Stuff I didn't even know that was busted. Okay, those are our skill systems. Those are fine. I gotta double check the save game stuff because we're doing some other adjustments there. Selected profile. Yeah, it's so easy for players to shit on stuff too. Like, they have no clue, you know? And I keep saying, like, animation's probably one of the least appreciated skill sets out there. You know, if your game has bad animations, players are gonna shit all over it. But if your game has epic, like really good animations, no players will even notice. Like, it's not like you get a compliment for animations, right? Like, players don't play games and they're like, wow, this character's very well animated. Like, they don't give a shit. But if it looks bad, you're gonna hear about it. This song's not in the right spot. Good game. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. You just never know, man. All right, let's make sure this fires off. This should say no mastery. Let's try this next. We're gonna wipe. Create. Whatever. Play. Yeah, like, these loading screens are just designed to, like, literally just prevent you from looking at too much weird shit while you transfer. But they're not like proper loading screens. Okay, so now let's grab this. Okay, so it says gunner. So why does it still think that I'm a gunner though? I'm curious. I'm level 0. It shouldn't say gunner. Oh, it's because this is set to default. That's why. This should have said true though, right? This should say true. Make sure that's coming out correctly. I'm checking the fail, like the minimums of this system right now to make sure that it's not doing something weird on the back end. See, that's saying false. Why? $10. Didn't I just wipe my character? Gunner 10. What? He comes from masteries. That comes from here. PDA. Current level 20. Transient on the variable, otherwise it is persistent. For going into a data asset. I don't know. Hold on. Let me. I gotta make sure I didn't do something stupid first. Let me just make sure it's a vanilla character. Level 0. Level 0. Okay. And then we go over here. fuck is that problem? Page pool limit. Oh, it's coming from a save file. So it pulls from a save file that I set. So something weird's going on here. I don't know. I think it's pulling from like my save or something. I don't know, to be honest with you. Oh, I bet you I know what it is. When I'm clearing my data, I'll bet you it's not clearing the master array. Hold on. Basically, my dev tool, I think, is not wiping everything, and it's still finding like some backup data somewhere. Yeah, but it's coming from the dev tool because it's a dev command to wipe my files. Like when I go back to my main menu like that, and I press K to like wipe everything. Maybe it's my master controller. Let me find out. A lot of keys. Where is K? Be under like the debug section. What the fuck is this? That's old. That's old as shit. Don't need that anymore. Alright, let's just try to, well, let's see. Search. Okay. Input action. Ugh. Damn it, the search thing's terrible. Not showing me anything. X key, K key, where are you? Where are you? Oh, you know what? It's probably inside the there's so many different areas. It's inside that game mode, which is the main menu mode. Hold on. I doubt it's in this section, but it might be. Yeah, because it's a different controller. That's why. Okay. K. There it is. K. Okay. Yeah. See, it's loading. If it's valid, delete the game in slot. Okay. Well, that deletes it. Well, that should be fine. It's just straight up deleting the slot, so there shouldn't be any information in there. Just want to make sure that that was correct. Yeah. Oh, you try to give me a link? Denied. Denied, sir. You need to put that shit in Discord. Maybe put it under Unreal Engine or something like that, or game dev, whatever. I'll check it out for sure. Does it help you debug save files? Like actually read the string? Yeah, I know. Gotta do that, otherwise we'll have weird bullshit in this chat. Okay. So my second question is it trying to reload from a standard somewhere? Let me just check those real fast. 1, 2, 3. Open this up. Open this up. Masteries empty. Good. Maybe it is. Maybe it is overriding. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Holy shit, it is. Yeah, it's overriding. Shit. It's updating in real time. And it's messing everything up. Alright, enable transient. Hold on, let me get rid of this. Okay, that's gonna be in my PDA file. Where is that at? Enable transient, is that under advanced? Right here. Should this variable not serialize and be zero filled at load? Okay. What the hell's save game? Should this variable be serialized for save games? Okay, so like basically everything inside this primary data asset, I want everything to be customized based on the player while they're playing, like their own little version. So does that mean, like, what is transient not serialized and be zero filled at load? Like English, what the fuck does this mean then? So this means like it won't run at runtime, like in an editor, which is what I want because I need to load it from the loading file. Let's double check. Fuck. Wait for it to like load here. It's like taking forever to load. Come on, load up. Whatever. It's like chugging for some reason. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Bad load or something. Alright, so now we got to this, and this says what? Equal to 0. True. Good. Okay, so that's what we want it to say, and then it should say master. No mastery. Good. So that is working. Alright, cool. Okay, it means the values won't be saved at next load. Let me try this real quick one. Right. Well, that is what it's doing. It's loading the save game. Yeah. But for some reason it was changing my actual hard copy file in the engine. You know what I'm saying? Like it was actually like changing. Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know. I gotta start reading up on transient. The reference of the same game of the save game to transient. Okay, so I can change mastery back to normal and then just change the save game. Hold on. Yeah, this isn't this. Well, yeah, this is technically, like, this is the primary data asset. So I don't know if I want to fuck with that. Yeah, see, I want it to just be blank because this becomes whatever the player wants. But it's saved in here. Save the game right here. So this is a player state. This is where we're getting everything from. So we could go to player state, which is here. Right there. So you're saying I should make this one transient? The reference to the DL. Yeah, because this is like the main reference to like the entire save game file. What are you smoking, Forrest? I have no idea what you just said. Okay, let's see. Transient. I'm gonna read up on this. I need to do a crash course because Twitch is too hard to understand what's going on. So I'm glad you brought that to my attention. Yeah, let me study up on it just so I know more about how it works, and then yeah, game instance is another area. We don't really pull from here anymore. That's kind of old, but we kind of have to use that for our settings for our UI stuff. So for example, I load my settings for like my menus, like what pages I have and stuff, and what my settings are. Like, do I want mouse to be inverted or whatever? And then I use the game instance variable to then say, oh, what were our settings again? Okay, so it like remembers those settings for everything. But I can't do that. So there's really only two locations. I mean, it's just for settings, but this one's the main one. This is for like all of our main data in the entire game, because we're inside the player state right here. And the player state is where everything comes from. So, but the main game instance one is using the save game, because like this is my save file, and I have C player settings. It's a PDA file. So like all of our player settings come from our player settings PDA, and then we have everything else individual. So like, you know, whatever we need or whatever. But inside this, see, you got commanders, then there's a commander inside that. This is our current commander, because it has to know which one to spawn that you currently are playing as. And then we have a PDA inside that commander that has all the data. And the PDA is what was changing on us. This was actually, inside this, it had master levels, and this master levels was like trying to like remain the same. I'm like, what the hell? So I was like resetting the save, coming back, and like this was still there. It was like defaulting because it pulls back from this to like get information. So like defaults were getting changed based on whatever I leveled on the prior save. Ugh. The save game is stored in the player state, which gets wiped and reloaded every time. Every time you load into a new map. And I had to do it that way for security reasons, but long story short, yeah, the save game is stored on the player's folder, like in their file. So it's like backed up there. Okay. Inside the PDA or inside the save game file? Because this is the save file. And then, you know, we get deeper and deeper inside all these folders. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll do a crash course on it. I gotta take a break anyways, but I'm really glad you brought that up. Because I need to get to the bottom of that. So I'm going to... I'll read it up. You know, we've learned a lot of other things, so I'm gonna read up on it, and I'm going to figure out what the hell's going on. This is something I didn't even run into until just now. I didn't even realize what was going on. I was like, why is... I found it because like some back code was still thinking that I had that. I was like, what? Like I've never even found it yet, which is remarkable. So I'm really confused why it's not doing it for other things, like my level, for example. It must be because it's coming from the PDA file. Because I don't think it's doing it inside the structure, right? Like, it's coming from this freaking PDA. Because this is what it's designed to do, is be basically adaptable and saves in real time. So starting to make me wonder if I should put all that shit in a fucking structure. Oh, Probably should just put it in a structure and be done with it. But then it's so hard to change stuff on the fly, dude. Yeah. Right. Yeah, this is something brand new I'm dealing with. I've never run into it until today. So, this is interesting. If all I have to do is just say transient to everything and it works fine, then fine. But, because I can remember that. I mean, it's not that hard to figure that out. Now I'm starting to wonder, what do I have to have saved as save game? So, I'm going to start reading up on this. I like how they hide it, by the way. I didn't even know it was an option. I've heard of it before, but I didn't realize it was like, yeah. So, okay. I'll start researching this. I'll put this on my list. We'll figure it out. And we'll go from there and start seeing what we need to change. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I'm starting to wonder if I have to like restructure stuff. If I have to start removing things around, that's going to be really annoying. Like putting things back into a structure. But then it's like, well, what's the point of having a data asset then if you're not going to change it at runtime? You know what I mean? Like if I, because the player might change their hair or cosmetics or whatever. Like what are they wearing? So that's why we're doing it this way. Because it's just easier to like, have them switch out whatever they want. So, all right, I'll look this up. I'm gonna probably wrap it up for the night. I gotta take a leak and make some dinner and chill out for a bit. So thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that, man. Transient. That could be a major fucking issue. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. I got some homework to do. I will be on hopefully again tomorrow. If I'm not, it's probably because I'm trying to do like YouTube or something. But I'll try to hop on and we'll pick up where we left off. All right, guys. Cool. All right, you guys take it easy. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your projects. If you guys want to hang out, anyone new listening, watching, we do have a Discord. You can always continue the conversation in Discord. It doesn't end here. It continues there. If you like the music in the background, I made it. Check me out on Spotify. Support me there if you want. If not, no biggie. That's all I got for tonight, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Good luck on your projects. I'll catch you later.